Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. We're going to wait a couple minutes just to give more people an opportunity to sign in. We'll get started in 2 or 3 minutes. Thanks for being here. Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining us. We're just going to start at about 12:02, 12:03, give people an opportunity to sign on here before we get started. But thank you for being here. Okay, it is 12:02. Hi. My name's Haley Jones. Thank you so much for joining us. I know it's a really busy end of year season and everyone is trying to get everything done before we take off for the holiday. So your time is valuable and we appreciate you spending it with us. So I am the head of independence here at Luminate. And today we are joined by two of our amazing support team members. Paul Touch is here out of Toronto, Canada. And Rotney Din is actually going to be hosting today, and she is on our support team. She's amazing. She's in Los Angeles. And before we get started, just a couple things. As many of you know, we have been doing music consumption for a very long time. We started as a company known as SoundScan back in the 90s. We have a legacy platform that started tracking streaming I don't know, it's been over 10 years, called Music Connect. But today what we're going to show you is our brand new, really cool platform called Connect. It tracks music consumption. So it tracks physical sales, it tracks streams all over the world, and AirPlay is coming very soon. So Rotney's going to show you more about that. Housekeeping items before we get started. We are definitely recording today's session, so we will send out a copy of today's session. You'll get an email from us tomorrow. The Q&A module is up and running, so feel free to submit your questions there. I'll be monitoring your questions and try to answer as many as I can online. If I need to, I can stop Rotney and actually show you anything. And I think that's it for housekeeping, right? Am I good, Paul? Anything I forgot?
I think you're good.
Okay, good.
So
Take it away, Rodney.
thank you. So thanks, Haley, and thanks everyone for coming today. So yeah, I can get started. Let me pull up my screen. So this is the new Connect platform we have here. So once we're on the homepage, so the first module that we'll see is the What's Trending. So this will showcase the trending artists, songs, albums, and singles and EPs based on streaming activity for the selected location. So by default, the location is the United States, But say if I were interested in maybe Brazil, I can hit apply changes. And I'm able to see the trending artist songs and albums here. Now, what's really cool is that we have 49 country breakouts, and we also have the global aggregate. So we're able to kind of explore and see data in like different splices. So I'm gonna go and navigate back to the United States here, hit apply changes. And now I'm going to navigate to the next feature. So if we navigate to the very left, we see the 5 main features that we have. So I'm going to navigate to search, and I'm going to go through each one by one, but I'll just start with this tab here. So we have the basic search functionality here. And say if you are interested in a certain UPC or ISRC, or like maybe for Kendrick Lamar's newest album, you only have those UPC or ISRCs available, or maybe a DSP ID, you're able to paste that in here and toggle ID search, and those results will show up here. But for this demonstration, I'm just going to showcase the basic functionality here. So I'm gonna click through for Kendrick Lamar, and we're able to see his album and songs results, but I'm going to click on his artist dashboard here. All right, so we see that his artist dashboard populated. So this first block here showcases the artist metadata. So we're able to distinguish the artist type, whether it's a solo music artist or a musical group. We're able to see the country of origin, so where this artist is from, the main genre or languages that the artist performs in, and we're able to see any musical groups that the artist is in.
Rodney, I'm just gonna pop in here real quick.
Yeah.
I got a text that somebody was trying to use the chat. If you use the Q&A functionality, you should be able to ask any questions anytime, and we are monitoring those and we'll answer those as best we can, either in the module or we will ask Rodney to show them live. Thank you.
All right, so continuing on. So I'm going to scroll down and we're going to see these 3 main KPIs here. So these are all dependent on the time frame and location that we have selected here. So by default, we have the current week selected. So this basically means that Kendrick has accumulated 171.6 million streams within this current week in the United States. Navigating here, we see the streams activity to date. So our database goes back to week 1 of 2015 for US and Canada. But if I were to have another international location selected, my database would, or the data would go back to week 1 of 2019. So in this case, for the streams activity to date, Kendrick since 2015 has accumulated 33.7 billion streams. We're able to see these breakouts here and the percent change. Moving on, we have the song sales breakout here and the product sales. Now, say if I were to want to switch out the breakout views for streams, I can navigate to the top right, and I'm able to toggle this breakout view. And say if I want to change it to service type, I can go on demand versus programmed here, and I can see content type, audio versus video. So moving on to the next module, activity over time. So say if I were doing an impact analysis, or I just wanted to see how the artist or album is trending over time, I'm able to look through this module. So let's say I wanted to see this artist trend from the past month. So I'm able to choose between these dynamic dates, but let's say I wanted a custom view, I can use this calendar element here. I'm going to select November 1st to the end of November. I'm going to hit apply changes, and this will populate. Now, I'm sure you noticed that I'm seeing a data set from going back to October when I only selected November. And what's really cool about this module is that it showcases a previous time period for a point of reference. So I'm able to see that from October, Kendrick Lamar's streams have been pretty steady until Friday, November 22nd, which is safe to assume his album release was. Now let's say I wanted to look at weekly view. I'm able to change the time view here. Or if I hit the three dots here, I'm able to change, instead of this graph view, I'm able to change to a more tabular view. So I can hit the grid view here, and this will showcase the number of breakouts here. Now, say you're used to the legacy platform and you're used to on-demand audio. So it's a simple fix. We can go to the data controls at the top right corner. And this is more of like a centralized location where you can see the filters and settings that you have selected. So let's say I am looking for on-demand audio. I can just go to the grid layout section here and hit streams. I'm going to hit stacked. So on-demand audio. So I'm going to deselect commercial model here. And I'm able to see these breakouts now. And again, I'm able to export to CSV and Excel if I do have any external analyses outside of the UI.
Rodney, I'm going to ask a couple of questions live here, if that's okay.
Yeah.
First, if you could go all the way back to the top module, please, and show the more details and some of the metadata that we have available, that would be awesome.
Yeah. So for the more details, we're going to be able to see any of the external IDs and all the metadata that we have collected for this particular artist. So as I mentioned earlier, the country of origin, etc. If you go to external IDs, we're able to see the ISNI and the other DSP IDs that we have.
So a lot of the DSP IDs will be available more on a song level and or an album level, FYI. So that list tends to get a lot longer. Rodney, we'll get to a place where you're going to see consumption broken out by ISRC and or UPC here shortly. The second question, Rodney, is I have some people asking about physical breakout. So if you go back to the activity over time module, and we might need to switch the toggles at the top because I don't know what we're filtering here, but yes, product sales. If you could go through the different views here, that would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah. So for product sales, we have the different breakout views similar to what I showed for streams. So we have the distribution channel, which showcases the digital versus physical here. So as you can see, there was a huge spike on Friday, November 22nd too. We can navigate to store strata. And this will have a breakout for e-commerce, mass market, independent, direct to consumer, etc. And this will showcase the breakout here. I can zoom in to see more detail and hover over to get the actual numbers.
Worth mentioning here in this platform, we have now restated back to January 1 for fully modeled data and all of the store strata breakout view.
Yes.
And that just happened as of last week, so that's pretty exciting.
And then lastly, for the product sale breakouts, we have the purchase method. online versus storefront. So yeah, if I have product sales selected, going through to activity by location, currently we only have product sale breakouts for USA or US and Canada. It's not available for the other international locations. So I'm going to just navigate to streams for now. Awesome. So for this module, say you have a use case of collecting or gathering tour locations for Kendrick Lamar, you're able on an international level, you're able to see the country streams, the top countries by streams. So for US, we see that there's 861 million streams, the UK, Canada, etc. So I'm able to compare and contrast different countries of interest. So say if I wanted to do Austria, maybe Germany, I'm able to compare and contrast and see what the position is based on stream count. And I'm able to zoom in and see on a visual level. Now, say if I wanted to look at a national market view, I'm able to navigate to the right and toggle markets on. And since I have the US selected, I'm able to see city by city breakouts here. Again, like the other modules, I'm able to navigate to the tabular view, so the grid view here, and I can export to CSV and Excel.
I love it because when we're in the US, you can also get all of that store strata breakout view, by the way, by market, which is super fun.
Yeah, so that is the distribution for product sales between each market here. And then finally, for the last module for the artist dashboard specifically, this is the discography. So we've split it up into albums, videos, singles and EPs, and songs. So based on the current filters, it will filter out what the top categories are. So for songs, since it's defaulted, I changed it back to streams, and I'm able to see the stream count. And with this pie chart to the right, I can see the artist's top 5 songs, and all of the other 404 songs that he has been grouped into the others category here. I'm able to show the extended view, so I can see all of the breakouts, very similar to the other modules that we have here. And what's really cool too is that the album videos, or the albums, the UPCs and ISRCs, they all have their own individual dashboard. So if I were to click in here, I'm able to see basically a similar dashboard, but for that specific. So for this one, it would be the specific song. I'm able to see these breakouts here. So for dashboards, I think that's everything. So I'm going to move on to the next feature, which is charts. So one thing to know is, as of now, we only have Luminate charts, but Billboard charts are soon to come. So I'm just going to showcase the general format of what this mode will look like. So I'm going to go to, so I'm able to see the top 5 titles here with total activity and the peak week. If I click into full chart here, I'm able to see additional data about the chart and the data about the title as well. So I see release date, genre, when it premiered on the chart, how many weeks it's been on the chart, and peak and low position, along with the week over week. All right, moving on to the next feature we have. So this is what we call the analysis tool. If you are familiar with the Music Connect, the industry report. So basically this, how I view it is, it's similar to like a report card of the music industry as a whole. So for this instance, our time frame is the last 12 weeks in the United States. So there have been a total of 376.8 billion streams, 24.6 million song sales, and 24.3 million product sales here. So similar to the activity over time, we have the total activity for week over week. And we also have the grid view here. Something to note too is that we added additional filters. So for release age, now let's say you are looking for maybe current titles, and you can kind of adjust and play with what you define for current catalog and deep catalog based on months. So let's say I'm interested in the current catalog, I can deselect the others, and now I have the current catalog selected. So now it's within the last 12 weeks in the United States, there have been 79 billion streams. The other filter that we have here for Luminant genres. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with Billboard genres, but there are some limitations. So let's say if I'm looking for K-pop or J-pop, I'm not able to find this with the Billboard genres as it's only one category. But if I select Luminant genres, pop has been sliced down, so I'm able to select subgenres. So when I click here, I'm able to see the total activity for the current catalog for K-pop within this time frame. So as you can see, there's interesting, there's a spike for product sales.
What record came out then? That's fun.
I'm not sure. But streams look like they've been pretty steady. So I do have that functionality for genres and markets. So I'm able to see genre breakouts and on the market level for US and Canada. So moving on to the last main feature that we have the report builder. So I'm going to navigate to ranked lists. So I'm able to compile a report for up to 10,000 item or 10,000 songs, release groups, or artists, depending on my selection. So I'm going to select artist. And when confirming the metrics, I'm able to customize the time frame. Let's say I'll change it to last week. I can change to location. Maybe I'm interested in Bolivia. I can select my depth. And then I have the option to choose between streams or song sales since it's international. So I'm going to do streams. And when I hit the additional criteria, the additional metadata that we have for the artist, I'm able to filter through for this report. So say if I'm interested in a specific country of origin, maybe I want Argentina, I can select, or maybe a specific gender, maybe I'm looking for female artists, I can select here. So now I can title this. Argentine female artist. So once I hit the build report, this will pop up and confirming that the report has been submitted along with the ID. And I can go to the management tool, and this keeps a log of all of the reports that I've submitted. So you can see that the report finished. So I'm able to select and export to Excel, and this will populate in the downloads folder.
Rodney, can you show, well, once after you show the report, maybe go back and show how to duplicate a report, and then I also am hoping you're going to show a trend report.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so this is the sample range list that we pulled. So I'm able to see on the summary tab, I can see the metrics that I pulled, any of the filters that I have. And then for the next tab, I'm able to see the results. So I can see the artist name, the country of origin that we specified, and the stream count here. All right, so going back to the last report that we have. So we have trend reports. And so trend reports, I think of it as more of like an activity over time module, but more powerful. So we can mix and match certain items, artists, etc. So let me show you. So I'm able to confirm my time frame that I want. So maybe I want the last 2 weeks. Maybe I want to update my location. I can do that here. Do stream count, and I can add up to 500 items. So for the Kendrick Lamar example, I can search him up through here. I can add albums, songs, and artists. Now let's say I was interested in a featured artist that was also on the album and see if any of her stream activity changed since the album release. Then I can go ahead and search and add her to the selection. All right, so this is what we have so far. So include streams, everything. So now I'm going to name this Lamar. Okay. Once I scroll down and hit continue, this will pop up. So I'm able to customize the time frame, whether I want daily or weekly. But since it's 2 weeks, I'm going to keep it as daily. And for streams, I'm able to decide whether I want a breakout for commercial model, which is ad-supported versus premium, and for service type, whether it's on demand versus programmed. So I'm going to check mark those breakouts. Otherwise, those will all be rolled in together. So now when I build a report, I get the confirmation. I'm able to navigate to management, and I'm able to see the status. So what's really cool is that it takes maybe like 30 seconds to a couple minutes, and it's super quick, especially if you've been used to the legacy platform. So while that's waiting in progress, I'm going to navigate to the three dots here. Now, we have the option to clone a report. So say if I'm interested in, this trend report, but maybe I want to change location or a date range, I can clone it and it'll keep all of the same metrics. And now I'm able to customize and edit before I rerun it. So now that's been completed, I'm just going to select it and export to CSV. All right. So now we're seeing the trend report that we just ran. So we're able to see the entity, whether it's an artist, release group, or album, and the song. Then we're able to see the artist name, the activity, and whatever metrics that you filtered out. So those are the main functionalities for the Connect platform. One thing I do want to highlight too is that, say if you forgot how to use a feature or you're looking for definitions, you can hit this question mark at the lower left, and this will pop up our knowledge base. So we're able to search through any articles that we have. So say if I was confused on how to run a trend report, or if I don't remember, I can navigate to this article or any other article that you're looking for. And it has a step-by-step.
Worth mentioning, trend reports are just a new release in Connect. So there will be future iterations that really expand upon what you can do with a trend report. That's pretty exciting. Okay, yeah, in fact, I just got a live question. Can the trend report show a market breakout? And the answer,
Yes.
yeah. Currently, can it currently?
Yes, it can. It can show up to 5 markets at one time.
Got you. Yay.
Thanks, Paul. So, yeah, and if you don't have if you can't find a specific article or you still have a question that's unanswered, you can submit a ticket here and our team will respond via email, or you can also email us at help@luminatedata.com.
So if you have other questions, thank you very much, Rodney. That was awesome. If you have other questions, please feel free to type them in the Q&A box. We're definitely monitoring those, and we'll take a few minutes here if there are other questions to try to answer them live. I don't see anything new just yet. Okay, I don't think anybody's typing a question. Oh. Yes, are weeks discrete or can you create custom weeks?
I'm not too sure off the top of my head.
For time frame, you can choose any time frame you want, really. So if you just wanted to choose again, like in legacy platform, I think what Jeff is referring to here is that you are really sort of focused to look at everything through that chart week. And in next gen here, you're able to choose whatever you like. So you can choose you know, whichever days you want to look at. And yes, if you wanted to match a radio chart week to a radio chart week instead of a radio chart week to a music industry chart week, that is definitely doable here.
Yeah, you're not beholden to actual full weeks. You can do, daily looks. You can do, if you want to do just the month of November, you could do the 1st through the 30th, regardless of what day they fall onto. It's very easy to do a lot of different things. It's only in the analysis function where you are beholden to actual weeks.
By the way, in the analysis function, one of the things that I think is so fun, but I'm a little bit of a data geek, you can also look at a market. So if you were curious about what was happening in Austin, Texas, by the way, you can see consumption in Austin, Texas, right up at the top. You can choose a market. So you can see which are the biggest streaming genres in Austin, for example, and or how many albums they're selling at independent record stores in Austin. Using this module, which we've never really had that kind of view before. So I think it's a lot of fun. Yeah, so now you're looking at Austin, for example, and you can see like physical rock is really big for physical in Austin, whereas, oh, hip hop and rock are almost tied for total consumption, which is also interesting. And the data tables for everything Rodney's showing actually live below. So now you can see by genre, like all of the different breakout views by streams and or by sales. You also can see all of the subgenres available. And again, default here is just showing you the last 12 weeks, but you can choose a custom time frame too. So we've never really been able to do that before. Radio will become more columns here once radio is live. And we're expecting radio to come in first quarter is the answer. And yes, we will create a Metro radio streaming module with relative rank, like we have in Legacy. That will be available also. All right, so I don't see any other questions. Paul, is there anything else that you feel like we could show or?
I think that's you've covered pretty much everything.
Okay.
But just to note that we are adding new features almost weekly now, or every few weeks. So as we add new features, we'll be sending out marketing emails to let you know what they are, or there will be an announcement on the site itself when there's a brand new enhancement. So
Yeah, so if you've seen something here and you're like, oh, that's not there, please don't walk away thinking it's not here forever. It is like trend reports went live last week. The physical restatement went live last week. There are lots of fun things happening all the time. And you can reach out to any of us anytime, by the way. So I know many people on this call are existing users. If you're not an existing user and you're curious and want to ask some more questions, I'm going to put my email in the chat box. You can reach out to me direct or we're going to send an email as a follow-up to everybody who's here and everybody who missed today. Please feel free to respond to that email and we will answer any questions that you might have. And again, I know this is a super busy time of year, so we really appreciate your time. And Paul and Rodney, thank you very much. Have a great day. Happy holidays, y'all.
Thank you. Bye, guys.